Hi guys, and welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I will explain what are, in my opinion, some of the most interesting items to flip in patch 10.2 in order to make tons of gold. So here, just a few disclaimers. First of all, as always, I really want to insist on the fact that flipping is always risky. So if you are doing this type of activities, you accept the fact that you are taking the risk of losing some of your gold. And of course, it's always better to first really have a good understanding of the market and try to really target specific items in order to avoid as much as possible to lose some gold. Also, and I know a lot of people are not a big fan of this system, but if you really want to be efficient when it comes to flipping, and in my opinion, flipping is by far the best way to make some gold in World of Warcraft, you might need to use the new cross-realm trading, because like that you will really be able to buy some items on one realm for a very cheap price and then sell them back on another realm for 5-10 times the price. Again, it will require you to have at least 2 accounts or to have a friend who is available to help you pass some items from one realm to another, but this is really something that, in my opinion, is worth doing. Okay, so let's start with our number one. And at number one, we're gonna have all the new 424, 421, and 418 BoE items from the Emerald Dream. So these items on some realms are very cheap and in high quantity, but what you can easily do is for some of them, you can just buy some of the really cheap ones and sell them back for a higher price. And trust me, they will sell. They all have insane sell rates and they do sell super well, even the 418 and 421. Or of course, as I already mentioned at the beginning of the video, what you can do is, for instance, go on a realm where there are tons of these available, so usually high pop realms, and where the value is super cheap, and then you can buy a bunch and then transfer them back on another realm, probably medium pop, low pop realm, where the value is super high and you will most likely still have some really good sales. So here, really, I would say it's a case by case system. There is not really one figure I can give you, and this is basically after that, like profitable or not. You really need to go on your realm. You need to check each item and try to really see which ones you can buy, which market you can reset or not. And hopefully you will find some good auctions and you will be able to make some profits. And keep in mind, you have the weapons, the trinkets, and also all the different armor pieces. So definitely something to keep in mind. Here, for instance, as you can see, 421, you buy all these ones. It costs you not even a few thousand gold. You sell them back, and again, it has a pretty good sell rate. So most likely you will be able to at least sell one or two at that high price, and you will make, again, a profit. After that, we will have 2 raid BoEs, one from Vault of the Incarnates and another one from Aberrus. So here, you're not really interested in these different BoEs because of their high level, but because of their appearance. So the first one, which is by far the most interesting one, is the Crucible Creator's Wingspan. These are the Priest Shoulders. So here, basically, if you're not playing on a Priest and you want this appearance, you will have to collect it through the BoE. And so it means that probably you will need to buy it from the auction house, especially now that no one really is doing Aberrus. And keep in mind, all the different difficulties are different colorations. So probably if someone wants to collect all of them, they will have to buy multiple of these different BoEs. Then next to that, we also have another one again from the Vault of the Incarnates. And this time, this is the Great Helm of Horn Fury. Here again, this is something that only Death Knights can get through the raid, other than with the BoE. And so if you are playing, for instance, on a warrior or paladin and you want one of these cool appearances, you will need to get it from the BoE. So definitely the Great Helm is going to be a little more tricky to find some good auctions because it has been quite some time since anyone has set a foot in the Vault of the Incarnates raid. But the one that I would really recommend you to keep an eye on are the different Priest Shoulders from Aberrus. You can still find on many realms some very cheap auctions. And just to show you a few examples, for instance, on this realm, as you can see, I bought some of them for 44,000 gold. I'm selling a lot of them. For instance, here I just sold one for 145,000 gold. Here, one for 270, 140, and then on many other realms, I'm selling some for up to 250 as well. So definitely you can make tons and tons of gold with these different shoulders. One important thing to keep in mind is the fact that normally after patch 10.2 or 10.2.5, we will have the faded raids, and so it means that at some point people will be able to farm again these different BoEs in both the Vault of the Incarnates and Aberrus. And so you want to make sure to, if you advance some of these items, to sell them or try to sell them before that, because probably the value is going to just decrease a little bit after the release of the faded raids. And here, when it comes to the value, I would recommend you to invest, especially for the priest shoulders. So for the mythic version, anything below 150,000 gold is definitely a good deal. And then for all the other ones, I would say anything below 80,000 gold is great, especially the LFR ones, because they're going to be the most difficult ones to get, even with the faded rates. And then for the Great Elm, I would say that anything below 200,000 gold for any of the difficulties is probably going to be interesting enough. As you can see here, for instance, I bought some, sold them back pretty easily. So definitely something that I think is good, anything below 200,000 gold. But again, it's a huge investment, so it's up to you to see if you're willing to take the risk or not. Then at number 3, we're going to talk again about some of the different green BoEs, not only from the Emerald Dream. And this time, what you want to do is have a look at all the different secondary stats on these different items, because sometimes you will have a chance at getting some speed. So you can also get Leech, Avoidance, but the only one that we're really interested in is speed. Simply because with this, people can build a speed set and then farm raids more easily, dungeons, and also do many farms more easily, whether it's to actually farm gold or maybe farm mounts or transmog items. So definitely something that a lot of people are interested in having. So again, here, what you want to do is on your realm, you just have to scroll through all these different items and you have to just try and see if you manage to find some of these different speed items. And then as you can see, you can sell them back for usually like 5-6 times the price. And trust me, they do sell super well, simply because again, people want to get these different speed sets. So this is something you can do very easily, and you can do it also with all the previous BoEs, also from, for instance, patch 10.1 and also the ones from before. So definitely something that you can do, and you can do it with all the different armor pieces, weapons, and trinkets. After that, we're gonna have all the new BoE plants and recipes from the new raid, Amir Drasil. So here, really, there are like lots of them that are BoEs, and on many realms, you can sell them for a lot of gold. So for this one, I would really recommend you to use cross-realm trading, because usually that's how you can make the most gold, by flipping this type of BoE plants and recipes. But again, sometimes you can also do it on the same realm. So here, again, what you want to do is go on your realm, check if there are any that are really cheap, and also, of course, the quantity. If, for instance, there's just one that is extremely cheap, just buy it and sell it back. If you're interested in doing some cross-realm trading, what I would recommend you to do is to go on the Undermine Exchange website, and here you really want to target some of these different plants and recipes, and you just want to see where are some of the cheapest ones. Then you want to buy them and sell them back on other realms, where, as you can see, they will sell for way more gold. And trust me, this is a very easy way sometimes to make millions of gold super easily, especially when you don't have to invest too much. And keep in mind, for instance, right now, if you invest 20,000 gold by buying it on Kazakh at 20,000 gold, again, you will easily sell it back for that price anywhere else, so you won't really lose any gold by doing so. After that, we're gonna have all the new raid BoEs, especially in heroic difficulty. So here again, this is a really tricky one, because usually you will have to invest quite a lot of gold in order to be able and buy some of them. But sometimes you can really get some extremely good rewards. For instance, I know some people who've invested maybe 1 million to buy the ring in 470 and sold it back for 3 million. So it really depends, but again, it's way more risky than other items we mentioned on this list so far. So here again, you can either decide to do it on your realm. So for instance, here, like sometimes you will have a big gap between two items, and you can just buy the cheapest one and resell it on the same realm. But I would say, again, having the cross-realm trading in this scenario is going to be better. And here again, I would recommend you to go on the Undermine exchange in order to see where are some of the cheapest auctions and really buy them from these different realms. And then you can also see where are some of the best realms to resell this item. Again, try to target high-pop realms, and like that you will have a chance at selling them back for 3-4 times the price sometimes. After that, we're gonna have some other plans and recipes, but this time it's all the different PvP ones, especially the ones from patch 10.2, the Verdant Combatant gear. So here you will definitely find some that sometimes are extremely cheap on most realms. And again, it's super easy to just buy out the different ones that are extremely cheap and resell them. And all these different plans and recipes have really good sell rates, so especially the different ones for jewel crafting, and also I would say some of the ones for tailoring are extremely good, but most of them will do. So again, just go check your realm. If you find some really cheap ones where there are not too many that are being sold, for instance here as you can see, very easy to just buy them, resell them, and sometimes you can really make a lot of gold super easily like that. And again, in this scenario, trying cross-realm trading might be super useful for some of them. After that, we will have all the different Lamented items from Naxxramas. So these items are then being used in order to craft tier 3 gear, and so this is why, as you can see, all of them have still really good sell rate. So here I would recommend you to invest in any of these that are less than 90,000 gold, even less than 100,000 gold. And then you can resell them normally super easily either on the same realm or on another realm. So for instance here, as you can see, this one, I bought these shoulders for 105,000 gold, and literally just a few hours later, I sold it back for 250,000 gold. So sometimes you can really just super easily get some really nice auctions. Again, make sure that there are not too many available. Right now, for instance, if there was just one, you just buy it, resell it, and as it's in very high demand, it's very plausible that you will sell it within the next few days. And so like that, you don't really take the risk of the value to drop too much. So definitely something you can do on your realm. You can also use cross-realm trading, and probably this is something that will remain really good even after patch 10.2. And of course, the only one I would be a little bit more cautious with are the bracers, simply because they're not as interesting as the other ones, as you can see, based also on the sell rate. After that, we're gonna have a very expensive item that I actually covered in a video yesterday, and this is the pattern for the rich purple silk shirt. So this item is selling honestly really well, 0.027 for an item that has an average value of 1 million gold, and you can definitely sell it for that price. So for instance, this one, I bought it for 350,000 gold and sold it back for 900,000 gold. And here on this realm, as you can see, I bought this one for 500,000 gold, and I'm still trying to sell it for right now 1 million gold. So for this one, I would say that anything below 400,000 gold is probably going to be a good auction. If you can find anything below 300,000 gold, that's really lucky, like I did at some point. And again, it's something that is better to sell on high pop realms. So if you're doing it maybe on a low pop realm, I would recommend you to then use trade realm in order to have it on a high pop realm, and like that you will probably sell it way faster. So definitely a good item to keep an eye on. It can be a little bit long to resell because it's still a very expensive item. But again, this is a very difficult item to get, and so the value is never really going to drop. So if you, for instance, buy it for 400,000 gold, you will always be able to resell it for at least that price. Then in the same type, we will have the plans for the Warblades of the Hakkari Reborn from the farm in Zul'Gurub. So this one again is super great, 0.021, 500,000 gold of average value. And again, I'm selling it on many realms for more than 500,000 gold right now. So this is still something that sells super well. And you can easily find it sometimes on some realms for less than 200, 150,000 gold. So for this one, I would say that anything below 150,000 gold, below 200,000 gold is probably a good auction. Again, it depends a little bit of how confident you are with these type of items. They're a little bit more slow to sell. But really, trust me, this one will remain relevant for still quite some time. And again, it's not that easy to get it in the first place. So definitely the value will always be pretty high anyway. After that, we're gonna have two new items from the Emerald Dream. The first one is an inscription technique, and this is something that is BoE. So as you can see, it's one of the different manuscripts you can use in order to customize your dragon riding mount. So this one drops from a couple of different rares inside of the Emerald Dream, and right now it's selling super well. As you can see, on some realms, you will really be able to find it for a ridiculous price. And so here again, what you want to do is simply either buy it back on the same realm and resell it for way more, or also simply buy some on a very cheap realm and then go on all these other realms where it will still sell because people will want these new appearances. And like that, you can really make tons and tons of gold. And so for this one, I would say that anything below 10k gold might be interesting, but especially the ones that are below like 5,000 gold is definitely a benefit. Then next to that, you also have this new Molten Lava Ball toy. This one also drops from another rare inside of the Emerald Dream, the Molten Binder's Disciple. And again, this is something that right now is selling super well. But as on many realms, there are more and more people farming it, the value is starting to crash. And so sometimes you can already find some pretty interesting like auctions. I would say for this one, anything below 20,000 gold, at least for the next few weeks, is going to be interesting. Keep in mind, the more we're going to arrive around the end of patch 10.2, the less valuable this toy is probably going to be. But still, I would say throughout patch 10.2, anything below 20,000 gold, you can easily buy it, sell it back either on your realm or on another realm using cross-realm trading. After that, we will have one mount that especially you want to keep an eye on around Christmas. And the reason why is because this mount can only be farmed during the Wintervale event. So the mount is, of course, the Minion of Grumpus. I'm sure many of you are familiar with this mount. Right now, the value is pretty high on many realms, simply because we're approaching Christmas, and so it means that no one has been able to farm it for the past year. But always, when we approach Christmas, it's always cheaper, there are more available in the auction house, and it's a good moment to just buy some and then sell them back throughout the year for way more gold. So here, I would say that anything below 120,000 gold is going to be a good auction. And again, here you really want to try and resell them first of all later in the year. Don't try to resell them like just 1 or 2 weeks after Christmas because the value is still going to be very low. And also try to resell them on other realms. Here it doesn't really matter, even a low pop, medium pop realm is going to be great. All that matters is the value. So if you can find a realm where they are almost none available and you can set the value to 350,000 gold, for instance, it's really good. After that, we're going to talk again about some of the green BoEs from Dragonflight, but this time we're going to skip the Emerald Dream and go directly to patch 10.1 with all the different 376 and 379 high level green BoEs, simply because all these different items have unique appearances, and so it means that if someone wants to collect this type of appearances, they will need to use the BoE. And as you can imagine, less people are currently playing in the Zarek Caverns and in the zones where you can get this type of BoEs. And so you can usually really make a lot of gold by flipping them. So for instance, here on this realm, as you can see, the shield again, or like these different type of items are extremely cheap. And all of them have, again, unique appearances. So if someone wants that, they will need the BoE. Just go, buy it, and then resell it. And again, the sell rate is still super good. People are still buying them, and like that you can make a lot of gold. And this is really low in terms of risk, so normally you should definitely be able to make some profit, and if not, just resell them for 200 gold if you want, or vendor them, and like that you won't really lose anything. Then we have some other cosmetic items, and this time these are all the different cosmetic items from Dragonflight. So here, this is something that especially I would recommend you to keep an eye on before the end of Dragonflight. But even right now, you can really start finding some and probably make quite a lot of gold. So here, for instance, you take this sword. This is a pretty cool sword. And as you can see, this is a unique appearance with a sell rate of 0.250. And right now on this realm, I can easily buy them for 300 gold and then resell them. And sometimes if someone really wants the appearance and no one else is undercutting you, you can sell it back for 20, 30,000 gold pretty easily. So again, it doesn't really cost anything. It's not really risky. And you can also always keep them in your bank and sell them back in the next expansion. And like that, you will probably sell them for even more. And here it includes all the different weapons, but you also have some of the different armors. So really make sure to also check all the different armors. You want to go there with eye level 1. And like that, you will find some of them that for some reason are not in the cosmetic tabs. And as you can see, you will find all of them right here. So make sure to also check these because sometimes you can find some really interesting ones as well. And then finally, we're gonna have 3 other cosmetic items. So first you have the different lovely dresses. So these ones right now might be a little bit tricky to find super cheap, but definitely on some reels you can find them for less than 50,000 gold. And I would say that any of them is really interesting if it's less than 50,000 gold. So here, for instance, you can see bought a lot of them for 50,000 gold, sold them back for 200,000 gold more. So for these ones, again, anything below 50,000 gold is a really good deal. Then you have the different dinner suits. So these ones are also some remove from the game items. So here for these ones, I would say that anything below 120,000 gold is going to be interesting. Again, it's a bit more of an investment, but these are unobtainable. And so probably they will remain super expensive, at least on many realms. And finally, we have the Tuxedo pants. So again, the version that is a cosmetic items, not this version is a cloth item. And here for this one, I would say that anything below 25,000 gold is going to be a pretty good deal. Again, depending on your realm and if you're willing to do cross-realm trading or not. But here again, as you can see, bought a lot of them for 44,000 gold and sold them back for 84, and on some realms for up to 300,000 gold. Also, just before I end the video, I just want to quickly remind you how cross-realm trading works, because I've talked a lot about cross-realm trading in this video, but I'm sure some of you are still not really familiar with it. So basically, the only thing that you can really do with cross-realm trading is to open a direct trade window, and then you can trade gold and items with any other players from your faction in your region. So for instance, here, as you can see, I'm going to invite one of my other characters, and then again, I will be able to open a trade window. But keep in mind, you can't send items or gold on another realm using your mailbox. So here, as you can see, I received the invitation, so I'm just going to accept. And then like that, I will now be able to start trading items with these other characters. So here, for instance, I want to trade some of these different BoE shoulders. I'm just trading. And then like that, I can then start selling this shoulder on another realm. Same, for instance, here, as you can see, I'm going to go on some of these different BoEs, the blue ones, and I'm going to try to find some really cheap ones. So here, as you can see, for instance, we're going to have this one, or yeah, maybe this one, 700 gold for a 421. Let me buy it. And then, as you can see, what we're going to do is simply take the item and give it to this other character right here. And let's see how much I can sell it back on this other realm. And here, like that, I have the item, and then I can simply go on my auction house and try to see how much I can sell it. And as you can see, it's probably going to be around 5,000 gold, something like that, pretty easily. So this is really something that is, in my opinion, super easy to do, but it will require you again to have 2 accounts in order to do it efficiently. So then, of course, you have so many other items that you can always flip. For instance, you have all the different super rare Transmog items, maybe some of the other BoE plants and recipes from Dragonflight, such as, for instance, the Elemental Laria. And you have so many other things that you can always invest in. But these are, in my opinions, right now, some of the most relevant items and category of items to keep in mind. and hopefully it will help you to make some gold just by flipping some of them. So I will be back very soon with more guides and more videos, and in the meantime I wish you all a great day. Bye!